Today's one of those days where I've just got loads of bits to finish off. Gas 350 on the bench. I put a piston in this last night, so I just need to get this fully back together. But more importantly, I want to get this Honda SP2 back together. Got all the bits for that now. Also, I think it's about time that I reviewed the BMW F900. I've had it a couple of weeks now, so I'll let you know what I think of it. I'm really trying to make my videos from a single day, but this bike, which I did the head-on last night, is going to be from the video you'll see in 2 days, so it'll be 3 days behind. But it will make sense when you see it. Just go watch that in a couple of days' time. This little O-ring is the cause of so many issues on these bikes. Just give it a little bit of red rubber grease and that will slip on an absolute treat. If you never want to spill brake fluid again out of the bottle, do this. With a new cap, put a small hole in the top and a slightly bigger one in the bottom. That'll let the air out and the fluid will pour out of this groove. Lovely. I'll drop some coolant in it and then it's time to put this bike through its first heat cycle. I'm going to go meet a friend of mine for a little lunchtime climb. I'll take the BM and I'll let you know my thoughts on the way there. Oh, I've got some boots to try out on the way. RST half, what are they? Frontiers, half height boots, you know, ankle boots. Anyway, I'm meeting a friend of mine who is a firefighter. She's nuts. It wouldn't surprise me if this morning she has run a marathon or been at work for the previous 36 hours. She's just good fun to hang out with, and she got my missus into climbing, which is an awesome thing. Awesome, thanks RST. I'm running late, no shock there. So I've had this bike on loan now for a good few weeks. I've done several hundred miles on it, and to be honest, I didn't really know who this bike was for when I first got it. But I think now I worked that out. This bike sits right in the middleweight category of bikes. So right in with things like the KTM and the Triumph Street Triple, that kind of bike. Majority of those are designed for really quick rides, having a blast, country lanes, couple of hours max. You wouldn't want to be sat on one for 3 or 4 hours. Whereas this, I really think you could do the extra mileage on it. Put a bigger screen on it, something to give you a bit of protection. I would happily ride this bike for 4 or 5 hours, do several hundred miles in a day. And that's where I think this bike comes into its own. Not just a middleweight hoon bike, but you can very easily adapt it to go and do those extra few miles. But then saying that, these bikes get raced at British Superbikes in their own class, and they are a riot to ride on track, I've heard. I really want to give one of those race F900Rs a go, because they can be super fun, and that slightly less horsepower is actually sometimes a great thing. But as you'd expect with a BMW, it comes with great specs. Quick shifter, up and down, heated grips, all the dash icons. It's even got, let me find it, in this dash, a lean angle sensor. There it is. So you can get max lean left and right. That's pretty cool. So I think this bike's more of a versatile bike, one that you can do so many more things on. If you were only ever going to go out for a quick hour and a half flat, you might go for something a bit lighter, smaller fuel tank, a bit more power to weight ratio. Whereas if you want a bike that you can take out with your mates for a couple of hours, but also you could bolt on a little screen and you want to go and do 250, 300 miles in a day, this covers that basis more. And I'm a strong believer now that you don't need the big 1250, 1300 cc's to go and do touring. If you want to go and do 700 miles, you can do it on a 900 now. And actually, I'm going to do something in a few weeks that proves it. And this 900 engine is fantastic. Yeah, it's only got about 100 horsepower, but it's got loads of torque, loads of grunt from that 3,000, 4,000 RPM, so you can ride it really low RPM. It's lovely and smooth. I haven't really got any complaints about it. Go over it, not around it. Get up the 4, be right?
No. It was that ridiculously long.
You look at the pink. Broke my watch. I have an amazing ability to cover myself in chalk. Nice. Alright, see you in a bit. See you, mate. So after climbing for a couple of hours, I think I've worked out who this bike's for. It's for people who have ridden much bigger bikes in the past, so things like GS's, adventure bikes, or maybe even like Hornets, touring bikes, who want something that's a bit more fun, but you can still use it and do some real mileage on it and still be relatively comfortable while having a bit of fun. But it doesn't quite want to go to the extent of a Duke 990 or maybe a 701 Husky, something like that. Somebody wants something that they can actually ride for a bit as well, and it's quite comfortable. I've got fit a power commander. It's so easy to fit. They've got an interrupter plug, so you unplug the connection down here, which goes to the injectors, and then you can plug this in the way. What these are is they adapt the fueling of a fuel injected bike. So once you've modified it, change the exhaust, you need to change the fuel in to balance it, and that's what this does. Think of it as a gateway between the ECU and the injectors. That's where this plug goes. It goes in between the two. So the signal comes out of the ECU and then goes into this. It gets adapted, so that'll go plus or minus fuel according to however much you put into this module, and then it sends it to the injectors. So rather than adapting exactly what comes out of the ECU, you just kind of rectify it on its way to the injectors. That's all these do. They've properly thought about the wiring on this kit. Everything is the right length, it fits properly. Yeah, good.